When I was a kid, we used to go to this ice cream shop or frozen yogurt shop. I don't know. It doesn't matter what it was, but we would walk to it. My parents, my mom, my brothers, and we would go, and I would always order rainbow flavor every time. I would always order it. They also had this thing that was called flavor of the week, and I never got the flavor of the week. I was never concerned with the flavor of the week. I didn't give a shit. I wanted my flavor. This is a stupid small story, but the story is a point that I'm trying to make. And I thought this to myself. I thought, why do I have such great decision making when it comes to something as simple as what flavor frozen yogurt I want? Like, I'm dead on with what type of frozen yogurt I want. Like, you can't sway me from that. But if it comes to something big, like what do you want to do with your life or your career or your goal, like why do I succumb to like procrastination and distraction and like what is it? Like, I'm so fucking unwavered with ice cream, but the big thing in my life, like what is it about me? Like what is it about us as humans that like I can't focus on this thing? And I've come to a few conclusions on this, right? And I think the reason is that like this big thing is just fucking scary. The reality is like you don't know you don't know the person who you'll be in 5 years, right? So to grow towards that person, it's almost as scary as like going on a blind date. Like, sure, you're working towards that person in 5 years, but you don't know who it'll be. So it's hard to kind of look out for that person. The same way if I said, who were you 5 years ago, you almost don't know that person anymore, right? Like there's a portion of you that doesn't know that person that you've grown from, that it's been so long ago. So I wrote down a few things and I've been thinking about this for a while, right? So I think the real thing is scary. The real thing is scary. Like, ice cream is easy, bro. Like, I don't want the flavor of the week. I want what I want. And I think the real thing, we turn to a few things, right? I think escapism is one big thing. Like, we try to find anything to not deal with it, right? So like anything that comes up, we sell our focus on it to that thing, right? Selling in the term that, like, I'm not talking about money, but it's like you say in your heart you want something. Like you've said in your heart that you've picked something, but like, why am I selling it for attention of something random? That's something that doesn't even matter, right? So I think there's three things that I wrote down that I find are the biggest enemies or things that have resistance to this, and why, right? One, I think it comes from being greedy. Being fucking dead on greedy. Example, someone came up to me in the gym the other day and they asked, like, how do you focus more on your workouts? And I think it was a simple answer, and it was, stop being greedy. If you say you want to do something, you want to champion at something, then champion at that thing. Then be good at that thing. What you're trying to do is be good at this thing. You're also trying to be on Instagram while you're trying to work out. You're also trying to, I don't know, look at some chick and get some chick's attention while you're working out. You're also trying to think about work while you're working. Like, dude, you're being fucking greedy. You told me, you told yourself, you were clear, you were extremely clear. You said, I want to do Raw Nationals this year. I want to get on stage. Like, you said that. Like, but you're being greedy. You're trying to do that, and you're trying to do other things. So I think what I need to tell myself, right, and what we all need to tell ourselves is, like, if I say I'm coming to the gym, I need to focus on the gym. I cannot be greedy trying to multitask. There is no multitasking here. I can't sell my focus from the gym to Instagram or my phone that I'm ironically holding in my hand while I make this video. Second thing, chasing feeling and not purpose. Chasing highs, right? Because the reality is, dude, purpose is heavy. Purpose is deep, right? Like, but purpose doesn't always feel fun. And I think sometimes it's easier to listen to a gossip story in the gym than work your set, right? It's so much easier to listen to just some bullshit and somebody's talking in your ear, and it's so much easier to do that because it feels like something. It feels better. And I think we live in a state in society where there's so much stimulation that it's easy to forget the thing you picked, right? Like I said, don't be greedy. Like, you picked this thing, you love this thing. Like, this thing is like a child. If you really love it, it should be your thing. Like, don't go chasing a feeling because it feels good. The feeling could be anything from, like I said, this story just feels a little better. To talk some bullshit just feels better, or I feel like I want to take a break, or I feel like, and you're chasing a high, you're chasing a feeling, and not knowing that sometimes if you're chasing your passion, it's just flatlined, and it's just fucking boring sometimes, and you just have to work through it being boring. The third thing, and I think the last thing, and possibly the most important thing, is I think we're honestly just afraid of our best self. Like, you have to ask yourself, and you have to be real with yourself, and ask this, and pause it if you need to. When have you ever been your best self? Like, really, like, think about that. You don't even have to tell anybody, just think about it to yourself. When have you actually ever in your life tried as hard as you can? Answer that. Now ask that again. Have I ever done that for me? Not to make some relationship work, not to get some goal or some or fucking something, right? Like, when have you ever really fucking tried for you? Like, have you ever? And I think the answer for most of us is, honestly, we haven't. Because I know sometimes I think about that and I'm just like, I honestly don't know if I have. And that's sad, right? It's a sad reality, but it's a reality. And if we're facing the truth, we can just now deal with it, and we can come, I guess, not have to succumb to this problem anymore, right? Like I said, sometimes it's hard knowing who that person is. It's a mystery person. So I think what we need to do moving forward, right, is just like catch ourselves when we were losing this distraction from the thing that we claim stake, that we love, right? Stop making excuses. Stop saying shit like, oh, I have ADHD or ADD, and laughing and thinking it's cute and it's funny. No, you fucking don't. People have ADD, people have ADHD, and they have a real problem. You're just a fucking shithead who wants to just focus on something else, right? Like, we just want distractions from being the real us. And there's nothing more shame than being born a healthy person of healthy mind, and all we want to do is just simply trade and sell our entire focus to something else, right? You pick this thing. Keep this thing. Don't let a random conversation, don't let your greed for other things, don't let just your fear of who you could really be hold you back from this. This is your thing, and you have to face it head on and determine what it's worth for you. Don't give it away for cheap. Don't give your fucking focus away for Instagram. What the fuck is Instagram? What is that worth to you? Don't give your focus, your whole soul, your whole being. Don't give your whole focus away to a random conversation in the gym. It's okay to be like, dude, I gotta fucking bounce, right? Like, you can be honest. Like, sure, they may call it rude, but it's honest. So, if you have something to add to this conversation, I would appreciate it. Leave some comments. I'd love to hear what you think about this. Of course, if you like the video, like the video. If you don't like it, then, well, you're probably gone by now. And then subscribe if you want to keep this stuff coming.